Hello, guys. How are you doing today? Today is the 12th of December, 2022. The year is almost over. Yes, so this is the time that the market will start to thin out based on liquidity as a lot of participants all over the world start to round up for the holiday period, right? So you're going to start to see some, very thin candles, whether it's on the daily or weekly or 4 hours time frame. It will become very much noticeable in the market. Yeah, so it's a pleasure having you here. My name is Tolu of CSAFOREX. And of course, as a quick disclaimer, this video should not be used as a form of signal, but rather for educational purposes, just to give you a better understanding of how to look at the market and, of course, to become profitable at the end of the day. As a matter of fact, we used to do a write-up every day, what's happening in the Forex market. So we are considering turning the write-up into video series. So we might be having this on a regular, giving you the visuals instead of just the write-up. So you can always let me know what your comment is, whether it is helpful, and of course, what you like to see more of. Now, first of all, I would like you to first of all look at what we have right in front of us. This is the Euro USD from the monthly time frame. Yes, from the monthly time frame, as it's the beginning of a new week. It's always good for you to look at the higher time frames, whether it's the daily, the weekly, or the monthly. Now, I'm looking at this from the monthly rather. Why? Because it's rather unique. We had this area here since about 2014 thereabout, acting as support. I don't know whether you guys noticed that this year the support was broken here, and then you can see what is happening here. This is a retracement, it's a pullback. So as long as price is still on this area of support, it should act as resistance and drop further down. So that means that next year is going to be interesting. I repeat, next year, 2023, is going to be interesting. And we've had many issues of inflation. You had the war in Ukraine, prices of practically everything has also gone up. So that is something for you to consider as well. And then also moving on, we're going to talk about a few instruments, and then I'll also give you information on the fundamentals, whether we have any key news update coming out today that we should be aware of. Now let's cross over to the dollar. Yes, let's cross over to the dollar, as the dollar is always a big thing to look at. The dollar, we're going to look at it from the daily time frame. Now, one thing you need to note about the dollar is that it's a big driver for the majors and also gold and even also Bitcoin, right? It's a big driver. We just looked at the Euro USD from the monthly time frame. So you could get more information from the dollar, right? Because look at what's happening now. Let me give you an idea of what's happening now. From the daily time frame of the dollar, the USD index, the greenback, you can see basically it's here at this area of resistance. Resistance has acted in the past, and then we have support. Now, clearly, you can see it is at the area of support. That means that the buyers are still very much, uh, you know, I won't say they're in charge, but they're still very much present as long as the support is yet to be broken. It's only if it is broken to the downside that we could now say, okay, fine, the sellers have taken over. But for as long as it is above here, the support, we should look out for buying pressure to take it back up. And if this happens, and it goes up and probably goes up to the all-time highs for this year 2022, then that Euro USD we're looking at from the monthly time frame most likely should drop, right? So the dollar gives you a good idea of what's happening for the majors, gold, and also Bitcoin at the end of the day. So this is just from the daily point of view for the dollar. And of course, if it breaks out to the downside, and then this should not act as resistance and then drop further down, then we should expect uh, the Euro USD to push higher as well from that monthly time frame. Now, as we said, the dollar has to do with the majors, gold, and then Bitcoin as well. So let's look at the gold, let's look at gold from the weekly time frame, right? You can see that I'm switching from different time frames based on how important they are. And you notice that all the time frames we're looking at are from the higher time frame perspective, higher time frame, probably from later today or tomorrow. If you are an intraday trader, we can start to look at the market from the intraday point of view. And then also, my style of trading is strictly support resistance with, of course, price action. And you can see we're marking our levels based on price action because it is the price action that will generate whether it's the support or resistance, supply, demand, Bollinger Bands, moving average, or whatever that you are using. So here we have the areas of support. There was a breach here. You can see it broke down and it acted as resistance. You can see what's happening in support, resistance. And then for gold, it is now in that area. So if this was going to happen, if from this resistance, right, where we have gold presently on the weekly time frame, this resistance is also known as a flip zone. If it's going to drop, it's going to drop. This will strictly be because most likely the dollar has appreciated. Remember, we just looked at the dollar and it's sitting at a support on the daily. So if the dollar should appreciate, then gold should go down. So you can see how everything is aligning at the end of the day. Now, quickly, I want us to quickly look at the Bitcoin from the weekly time frame as well. Bitcoin, there has been a lot of noise with respect to the Bitcoin. Of course, happens to be the father of all cryptos. So you have the Bitcoin, you have the Ethereum, and the rest of them. This year has been crazy, very, very crazy for the crypto space, right? You remember from the time of the Luna, even the Bitcoin, and even the FTX exchange, and other things that might still come out, who knows? But then if you look at what we have here from the weekly time frame, you can see clearly that we have this area here of former resistance. It is yet to be tested as what? It is yet to be tested as support, right? So as it is yet to be tested as support, look at what we have, to the build up of that. Over here, we had this double top here, and then you can see this is what made it double top, the reactions over here, and it has been dropping. This has been since 2021, by the way. It has been dropping, and then now look at what we have here. We have this as a falling, listen carefully, a falling triangle, and then you have this as inside bars. The Bitcoin has been flat for a few weeks now, for about 1, 2, 3, 4, for about a month now, ever since we had this big bearish candle to the downside, breaking out of the bearish triangle. So this here, let me just circle this area. This area here is a consolidation. If you look at it from the daily time frame of 4 hours, from the lower time frames, it will show you clear that consolidation. And then mind you, it is below this trend line. That simply means most likely we should have it drop further down. So this is the area where this should be around 12K thereabout, if I'm not mistaken, around 12K. So around 12K area of untested support is where you might probably have buyers waiting to jump in, right? To jump in, probably to take it back to this area here. This area here should be around 30K. You can see here we have support. There was a breach over here. So this is yet to be tested as a form of resistance. So this most likely is going to be till next year. As I said, the market is gradually coming to a close. Now we're talking about the chart with respect to Euro USD, the Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin, of course, the dollar index, and of course, gold. But then I want us to quickly look at the economic calendar for today. Let's see what we have today on the 12th of December 2022. This is the economic calendar for today. And if you carefully have a look at it, um, 8 a.m. a few minutes ago, we had a the GDP for pounds. So you could check on the pounds if you're trading pounds. And you can see that for everything for pound here, everything more or less is on the green, which is what is positive for pounds. So don't be surprised if you see pounds appreciating across board for all the pounds pairs, right? And then later today by 9:25 p.m. This is Nigerian time, by the way. 9:25 p.m. Nigerian time, 8:25 p.m. UK time. So check on your time zone so that it matches very well. For CAD, for the Canadian dollars, we have high impact news and the Bank of Governor McClellan will be on the wires. And of course, expect possible fresh volatility to be introduced into the market. Now, these are things that we need to always pay attention to. As a matter of fact, I should have actually started with the economic calendar, as this is a key driving factor. That is news. It's a key driving factor for price. This is what actually moves price. It's the fundamentals. But at the end of the day, you need the technicals to be able to jump into the market. So this is just a quick one. And as I said, this is meant to be for educational purposes strictly, right? And we're going to be doing more of this. Let me know if this is a good substitute for the what's happening in the forex market today. We do that on a write-up every day. So let me know if this is a good substitute where you can just sit down, you watch, because obviously the more you watch, the better you understand. Of course, videos are more educating than just text. Some people might not even read the text completely, while some people might just skim through. But if you are listening to this or you are watching this, it should start to shed more light with respect to what is happening. So don't forget, in our write-ups, as we're about rounding up, we always say trade safely, because at the end of the day, anything could happen. There could be breaking news in the market now, whether it's for the dollar or it's for, in the crypto space or whatever, that could easily shake the market. So make sure your stop loss is in place. Do not work with mental stop loss. Use the physical stop loss on your chart. Make sure you calculate your risk management appropriately based on what? Based on your account balance. You can't be using one standard lot size for $100 account balance. It won't work out. That's just about 10 pips, depending on the currency pair. That's just about 10 pips before the account goes to zero, right? So please trade safely. And of course, you could subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to put this video on the YouTube channel and it's spread across different platforms. So ensure to subscribe to this. So when we drop this early in the morning, you can watch it. This could easily be your form of market update for today and also for the week. So I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. If the video was helpful, if you were able to learn one or two things from what we have discussed today, whether it's from the fundamentals we just looked at, or whether it's from the charts where we looked at the Bitcoin, Euro USD, the greenback, the dollar itself, and then gold. Tomorrow we could as well look at other instruments. We could look at the cable, GBP USD. We could look at some intraday plays. And don't forget, it is not a form of signal, or rather as strictly for education. So thank you guys. Subscribe, like, share, comment with your questions. And of course, we'll be back on a regular to give you this. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day and goodbye for now. God bless.